Here it again. We're back on my alt plot. I thought we might try and finish up the fish for the CBDC, which stands for Custom Built Decor Challenge. It's a monthly challenge that my guild has, something that I do for my guild, but I always try to build something along with them. This month's theme is aquatic animal or plant, so I've chosen to try and make a fish. And so the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 days or more, I've been busily working on my alts plot, trying to put one together. You could kind of see the shape of it way in the distance here. And for those of you that have been following along with me, you'll notice that I've had a little fun with the sky options and ground options. I thought it might be fun to kind of put it into a watery scene. So I've just taken the liberty of changing the settings on my alt. But this is what we left it at last week. It's been a few days with the weekend, and on the weekend, since I don't stream, I've done my best to steer clear of it so that I don't do anything off camera too much, so that you guys can follow it, all the way from start to finish. So basically we finished up more or less the scales of the body, and we kind of fashioned a bit of a head for it, applied some eyes, and more or less talked about how we needed to set up the fins and everything. Now, I actually have taken a look at some pictures of fish, and it looks like I'm kind of close, but not exact. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments with the fins, probably add another set, because the images that I've been finding is more like there's like a set just beneath where the gill line would be, which is kind of where I imagine it would be, right around here. So these probably need to move up. And then there's another set of underneath that's more like around here, but they're a little larger than these. So we'll probably have these small ones and then a little longer ones for here. And then of course you have the side ones. And most of the images I see of like goldfish and that type of fish, which I'm looking at here, most of the fins aren't like airplane position like I have them here. They're a little bit more down, so I'm going to have to do some slight adjustments here and there. Also, I had moved the fin a little bit on the top and forgot to make adjustments to make sure that the tail didn't kind of go crooked, so I'm going to have to turn that a little bit to get that lined up the way I want, because there's actually a curve in the fence piece that I'm using. So just to kind of, either I'm going to have to leave it offset at the top, or I'm just going to have to rotate it some to try and get that tail to come back in a little better. So yeah, today we're going to work on fin adjustments, getting that lined up a little better. I'm going to see about possibly adding some kind of a mouth, just an indication of where it is. I'm not going to bother with doing like gill lines or anything, I don't think. Depends on what I use for the mouth. If I think I can get away with using something similar for lining the gill mark, I might do that too. And then just for fun, we might throw in a few little gimmicky things. Maybe I'll have a giant hook hanging down or something, like he's going to go bite it or something, or add little bits of decoration to kind of look like, he's in his own little habitat kind of here. But that'll be just for the fun of it. The main thing that we wanted to make was the fish itself, and I think we've pretty much covered most of it. We're just going to touch up on a little bit of bits here and there. So first off, let's see if we can modify this fin piece a little better. You can see the highlighted part. It's the spine part is good in alignment, but the tail bit is a little off. So I'm going to have to see if I can kind of tweak it so that it's not so misaligned. probably going to have, you know, a little curvature, but I'm trying to alleviate as much of it as I can without changing it too much, because I want the main part of it to be right here around the center area where his spine line is. But the rest is going to have to be kind of wavy around in that way. I'm also wanting to, let me do a reload. The tools aren't coming up like they should. Probably because I started off on my main plot and now I'm back onto my alts, and it just kind of, sometimes the controls are a little cranky. It doesn't want to quite, now we have the button. But I also kind of want to keep it where he's kind of got the spine is a little straight. Don't want it to be crooked too much. For things like this, when you're working with something that's already got either a curve in it or whatever, it can be tricky to use, but you know, if you just kind of play around with it, you'll find something that works for you. I think that's pretty good. It's not going to be exact. You also kind of want to give it a little bit of motion kind of thing. So, okay, and then these, we'll leave the tail for now. I'm going to do some extra work on it, but I'm just going to try and get these pieces here better situated, because apparently I had them a little out of location here. So it's supposed to be more like right around there, I guess. Something like that, and then I'm going to need 2 more pieces of those. So I'm going to see, we'll probably want, I know there's a short version and a long version, I think. Okay, there's a curved, which is a little longer. I'm just trying to decide, do I want the long ones? The only thing I don't like about the long ones is it's got this one little piece that just sticks out by itself, whereas these more have like a curve. Let's try one, and we'll see how it looks. Is the idea, hey Samson. Yeah, Mortimer's coming right along, isn't he? He looks a little more within his element now. I've added the bubbles and stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how he's turned out. It's just little touches now that you want to, you know, kind of tweak it a little better. I know it's kind of like a drastic change between the head and the scales of the body, but I thought about, you know, well, could I use plates to kind of fashion, but you saw how much trouble it was with the curving of this. I just don't think it will lend itself very well to doing the face as well, because I really don't want the scale look to repeat here. But it kind of goes with the color of the vines for the rest of it, so I'm happy with it. Okay, so according to the images I've been looking at, there's another set of fins that are a little larger than these, but not as big as those, right around here. So I'm going to try and situate another set of fins on his body. Really, that's going to be too big. Just kind of, I'm looking at where it lines up on the belly line, as well as where it kind of is situated here. And I'm also trying to get the angle of the little fins right as well. So I have to not go necessarily with the line of end of it there, but just kind of that's kind of coming along, not the right way, something like that. Oh, wait. It's gonna bug out because I was standing under it, I think is what it was. So let me see. Yeah, you have to be careful about how you position yourself, because if you're in the way of the furniture, it won't let you place it. I think that fixes it. So then I need another one on the other side in similar fashion. Just checking to make sure he doesn't look like he's just kind of wigging out there. Okay, so use the curved version of the floral fence. Now I'm going to try and match it on the other side. I don't think copying it is going to work exactly like I would like, because there's more to it than just flipping it. Because I don't know, it's just a tricky piece to work with. So even that doesn't. See what we can do here, because you not only have to worry about this doesn't flip like a normal fence piece or something would, because it's got the curves there. So the curve is going to be opposite of what the other one is on the other side. The only catch. I'm trying to kind of like match the angle that I have, sort of. Not very easy to do, but trying to get the height of it set, and then the positioning too. Like something like when you look at it from a different. And it's pretty close. It's got the little underneath ones, and then the little longer ones were just underneath there, and then we're going to fix these, because really he looks more like an airplane with them kind of straight out like that. Excuse me. So we kind of want those downward, and then maybe bigger. Now for these, I'm kind of trying to preserve a little bit of the image of the where it is attached to him. Just to kind of add some extra decoration. I may decide I don't like that and just push it in all the way, but I think it looks okay. What do you think, Samson? Do you think it should go out or all the way in? Or maybe in. Let's try in. But I guess it looks a little smoother that way. So first thing, I'm going to check what size I put it at, and that would be 78. Then I want to match that over here. And then again, we're going to tilt it. I'm just doing my best to kind of mirror it a little better. See, does that look about? That's a little higher on this. See right there. Looks a little sad from that angle, but yeah, I think that works better. You got more of the flare and everything that's going with it. Now I'm trying to decide if I've got the start of the spine fin in a good position. I think I do. I don't want to I don't think I want to move it up any further than I've got. I think most of the pictures I've seen, it's about in the right area. So the only thing I have left with the fin parts, I think, is to add a little bit more flaring to the tail part here. And I think I had already bought some of the vent, yeah, more of the bushes, long bits. And what we'll do is we'll just copy the one I have, paste another one in, and then we're just going to kind of see it's so hard to see these. Kind of rotate it around until we get a look that we like. Just kind of eyeballing it, using my judgment on what looks nifty and flared. Because, you know, usually when you see like the painting of a goldfish or something, they really go all out with the flaring and the furling of the tail, because that's like the pinnacle of the fish, is the prettiness and the laciness of its tail. Just trying to make sure it kind of blends in. The reason I'm pulling it out a little bit from the body is I don't want it to look like a big wad right here. It's more like it's tapered and then it flares out. So I want it to be connected, but not like all clumped up at the very end here. So it's going to be kind of, you know, a rough patch together, and then we're going to copy that one and paste, and then we're going to rotate it again. See that blue mark? Again, I'm looking to see if it's touching the ground and just how it kind of blends with the rest. Give us some extra little swirly gigs to really flare out that tail and make it look a little extra special. Change the size a little bit, and I'm trying not to match it to any particular one that's already there. So I'm kind of playing around with different ways to angle it. Plus, you know, I don't want to overdo it. So 3 pieces might be too much. I may just have to knock it back down to the 2, but we'll see. See how that goes. I think that'll work. Nice, very prominent tail, and now he's got his little fins, and he should have no trouble steering himself in the water. Okay, now we're going to see about fixing a mouth. The best thing I could think of off the top of my head this morning was maybe to try and use some of those other windows that Flint had made for me. And since we have green in the build, the only non-green part is the very edge of the window here. It's a brown, but because of the lighting and everything, you really can't see it too much. But I want something, since this is like kind of in the shaded area and it's a lot darker green, I want something kind of bright to contrast it so that you can see it a little better. And I'm thinking that the light green of the window here will stand out good and work as some kind of fish lips or something. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if it's going to work right. It's going to look a little choppy, like he's got strange lip problem or what, but we're going to try. And, you know, the main thing is I don't want any of that pink sneaking in. I think that will throw off. I gotta get the height right and the vertical part of it right as well. Now, one looks sort of okay, but I think it'll require both. We're going to try the other one. And since we have one in place, we'll just copy that one. Bring that down. Oh. LinkedIn might be moved by the world. So copy. Copy the first one, paste the second. Change it to object, and then pull it down. And it shouldn't try to rotate itself. Now, the trick is trying to get this not to look like Fanny's goober lips, but have it kind of blend in like it's a fish mouth. Now here on this side it looks pretty good. On here you see the like double bits or something that's poking out. A little bit better. I don't know, maybe that's not enough of a line for the mouth to make it look like two different lips. I don't know. Clear that I've never tried to make a fish face before, because this is just kind of weird, but I think that'll do it. The fish lips. Yeah, it's just I was thinking, you know, lips, so I wanted something thin, and the window frames, since we'd already used it here, it kind of come to mind, and it just so happened that Flint had made me several of the ones, so it just kind of, and again, I was looking for something that was lighter in color, so it'd contrast nicely against the body of it, which I think that works out really good. From this side, it looks really nice, but this side, I'm not quite happy with the way it looks there, but it's just the shape of the mouth and things like that. You know, I could turn it to maybe get a different with the lines on the lip, but I think it's okay. But yeah, a lot of that kind of coming up with decor that can work for a specific detail that you want. A lot of that comes with practice, experimenting. It's like when trying to identify certain decor in a screenshot or something, you can't always know off the top of your head unless you've actually used it in the build of your own in that way. Like today on the forums, there was someone asking about, you know, what is this decor? And it kind of reminded me of certain pieces that I've used or seen, but I couldn't like give them specific names. Of course, the owner of the screenshot actually came by and said it's this and this, and I wasn't even close. But you know, it's interesting to see how it's one of the reasons why I like streaming this so that people can see, you know, well, different items that you can use for different things. I could have went with something else. Definitely it needed to be something curved because of the shape of the head. You don't want something square, you know, a box or something really wouldn't lend itself well to a curved shape. So again, windows, a lot of the windows have curves. You know, I could have picked a metal framed window. That might have worked as well. But again, for this particular build, I wanted something greenish. It's also got, you know, these little bubbles and you know, like little marks on it. It just lends itself good to this particular build. You know, if it's a metal fish or something, then you would use it for parts. But yeah, it's just a lot of practice, a lot of playing around with things. I lucked out that this actually worked fairly well. So I don't think I'm going to add like any like nose holes, but you could do that if you really want to get into the detail. Again, I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the impression that this would be where the gill flaps are, but I don't think I'm going to add them in. But for something like this, you can go as loosey-goosey as you want, or you can get as detailed as you want. And I think I've done enough detail on the scales that I really don't want to. I want to keep it simplified for the rest. So that's, I think, the fish completed. Again, we can play around with, let's see, what kind of plants do we have? I know a lot of my guildmates, when they make these builds for these challenges, they like to add little decorations and stuff. Um, like last month when one of them did a swing set, he added grass and put some plushies on it so they were actually swinging on the swings. And the main thing with, at least for the challenge that I put together, I try to ask them while it's okay, just to make sure that you don't hide your main design too much, because it makes it hard for other people to kind of judge it when they go to do their voting. But for someone that's just wanting to add fish or something to their plot, they could go all out, fill it out with whatever they want. Doesn't seem to be. I'm looking for some of those new plants. Maybe they're in the bushes. Yeah. Like there's one in particular that's really looks. I mean, you can make some like kelp gardens with the stalks and wow, that's beautiful. I'm just gonna play around with decoration just for the fun of it. Just see what we can do. A couple of these. And maybe one of those. And a few of these. I'm just randomly picking stuff that I think might look a little like an underwater plant. Doesn't mean that they have to be, but so maybe I'll make these really big and see if we can ink them down so that it gives a little variety. I'm just going to rotate a little bit. And maybe things at a different height. Just to kind of give it a little bit of variety there. Not all the same. And then another one. Put this one over here. Bring that out a little bit. Hard to aim that. And we'll change the size to make it a little different. What about your house, Samson? How's it coming along? I know a lot of my viewers have projects of their own, and sometimes they come here just for ideas, and sometimes they come for other things. Yeah. Yeah, you could make it like a giant aquarium. I've seen some, I know there was a build in the past that had some kind of like, they even got, there's the mannequin that you can have, and they had like, put something over it to make it look like it had a little helmet on, and they had I think it was the blue flare to kind of make it look like their tank was, maybe there was bubbles coming out of their tank or whatever, and treasure chests, and I've seen skulls and stuff used for making it look like any number of things. I've seen shipwrecks underneath the water, which is really cool. The main thing is I'm trying not to crowd the fish because I want people to be able to go all the way around it. Yeah, you could use all manner of rocks or pieces of decor. I mean, decor items that have a little bit of rock, and just kind of enlarge it and size it and maneuver it into the ground so that you don't see the bits you don't want to see and you just see the rock. You can do that. Um, just kind of playing around here with sizes, rotations. Give it some variety because you don't want to just make it all the same. You gotta do it differently for each one. That helps bring about the believability that it's a natural kind of thing. There he's got a little bit of a kelp garden to go through. Oh, trying to decide a theme. Yeah, that is a tough step of figuring out what you want to make. Some base it on like if they're into roleplay or their character is into roleplay, you know, like if they have a kind of a background story, even if they don't actively roleplay it in the open world with other players, if they at least have an idea of, well, my character is all about healing and they're a medic and maybe they're all the time looking for new cures for whatever, you know, then they would go, well, it makes sense that my home is some kind of a lab or a medical facility or whatever. So some base it on their character or, you know, the story that they have for their character that they're wanting to develop. Others want to make their plot functional in some way, so they like have a park or a maze, you know, like a hover park, like a racetrack, or like a maze, some kind of jumping puzzle, something that people can come and interact with the plot in that way. Others want to keep it like a personal home. Even if their character doesn't do any kind of role play, they still kind of, you know, want a home that has, you know, the typical kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, game room, whatever. Another functionality is maybe they make it for, even if they don't role play, or if they do, they make a plot where other role players might want to gather, like a club or a bar or some kind of an arena. I've seen a few libraries, other kind of public buildings like a courthouse, a jailhouse, lots of open markets, those kind of things. Yeah, biodomes would be kind of a nifty idea. Might be tricky to build because the way we have, like, for one, we have domes, but none of them are clear glass yet. They're all solid. We have glass, but none of them, the curved ones are like they're more for like a tube. So it's not like a slight curve, it's a pretty drastic curve. So they work well for like tunnels, if you want to make clear tube tunnels, like for like if someone wanted to make a house, you know, a hamster house, then it would have plenty of pieces for that. But for an actual dome, you'd have to work around the restriction that you're only working with flat square pieces. You would have to figure out ways to be able to make those into corners, you know, curved bits. And I've seen a few people do that. They'll mesh the two flat pieces together so it's like this, and they just ignore that there's bits sticking out, and they just keep doing it to make it curved that way. Or some will use like the triangle pieces, even though the triangle pieces are solid. They use those as kind of like joiners for the flat square glass pieces, and it kind of can work. I've worked out a few designs in the past when other people were talking about doing something similar and asking how anyone had come up with ways to fashion a dome-like thing that would be made of glass. But I don't think you'll have to have some concessions. Either you're going to have parts sticking out where you don't want, or you're going to have large amounts of framework to kind of hide the fact that you really don't have a nice curved glass. Because, like I said, the curved glass we have is like a half a tunnel, and the curve is really, really strong. So until they add additional pieces, which I'm sure they will, you just have to work with it. Now, if we did have domes, you also have to think about, normally when you think of biodome, you think that the dome goes from the ground all the way over and then to the other side of the ground. But then you're thinking, well, how do you get in? You'd have to lift that part up and then have a base structure that is either pieces of glass and framework to be able to include a doorway to get inside. That kind of thing. It's not like we can just say, well, I want this piece, but I'm going to make a hole here. You just can't add that right now. They would have to actually have a dome and then have a hole already pre-made into it if you wanted to do it that way. But yeah, it's probably possible with the materials we have right now, but it would take some finagling and work and practice on trying to get it to match up just the way you want. I've seen a few that it's not exactly a dome, but it's kind of like a pieced together kind of bit where it's, I don't know how to say it. You could do triangle dome kind of thing. It's not a dome, it's like a triangle thing. Top, roof, do it that way. No, unfortunately they didn't include glass domes, which is kind of disappointing, but not surprising. I mean, I'm sure a lot of times when they make the decisions of what to add, there are bits that they probably think, well, we'll add that later, so that they always have something that they can bring in. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's like 2x4s. 2x4s are great, but they're not like completely straight, so they have a little quirkiness. And a lot of people ask for explicitly straight-edged materials, like our metal planks. Those are crooked and difficult to work with when you're trying to make something nice and flush. Same way with the panels and other pieces of building blocks. We don't have the triangles that are clear. We don't have round ones that are flat, like the dome bottoms. You have the solid dome and you have the hollow dome. I'd like a round piece that's flat but has the surfaces of the ore and the granite, the chua, but also a round one that's clear, a round piece of glass. Because it just changes up, gives you a lot more variety of things to work with, and can lend itself to a lot of new ways of putting things together. So we're just going to throw some more bits here. This one I was thinking of, maybe it looks like a bit of coral. I can sink it into the ground here pretty good. But dealing with those spikes on the top, I have no idea, but we'll just go with the idea that this coral is a spiky coral. Hard to see those little arrows. But yeah, biomes is a pretty good idea. But again, you'd have to work out how you're going to do the doorways or connecting tubes or paths to each one. It's not like you could easily make a dome that has not only an entrance down below, but maybe one where a ship could fly in or something, or a helicopter or whatever. Or maybe you want one that has a hatch that appears to be removable, or like you have two of them and one of them has it closed and the other one has it open, like they're doing something to it. I don't know. Those are just things you have to think about when you go into design something, especially all from scratch. You have to consider all of that. Don't know if these purple blobs is going to be a good idea, but no, I don't think that's going to work very well. And it's weird that the coral is moving. But we'll leave it anyway, just for fun. Really, it's not about these little extra decorations, it's just about the fish, but I thought it might be just a little extra something to make him feel at home, like he's in his little place. I think I'm going to move this one. Leave plenty of space around the fish. I don't want to block him too much. So there's a good shot for you. Fish. Looks a little sad, doesn't he? Probably because he doesn't have a friend to play with, but oh well, I'm not going to build him another one. But too many scales. So there you have it, that's Mortimer the fish. Really don't know how many hours. I think it was, I don't know, I think I've been streaming it for, well, today. There was some Friday, Thursday, maybe Tuesday as well. So it's probably a good 5 or 6 hours maybe. I don't know, I'd have to like really go through the videos and calculate it up. Most of it was dedicated to the scales. That was obviously the most time-consuming part of it. But I think he's turned out rather nicely. Hey, Pawn, and thanks. I appreciate the compliment. I think it's come along pretty good, considering I kind of started with having absolutely no idea how I was going to make anything that would suit the theme. But I think this works out pretty nice. So all that's left is I'll have to take myself some screenshots and then wait for the rest of the guild to put theirs together. They have, let's see, today's the 8th. They have approximately 2 weeks left to submit their entries. So yeah, that's the 22nd of this month. That's the deadline. Yeah, I'm hoping that most people will find it interesting just to see, you know, full projects. Some of the, like the golf course and stuff, I kind of did a little bit of work ahead of time, and then I streamed some, and then sometimes I'd work on it off camera and then come back and go, well, this is what I did. And I think I get the feeling that some people might feel a little cheated because they didn't get to actually see me put it together. But this one, I've tried to keep it just working on it while I streamed. So I think I behaved myself pretty good on that part. But yeah, they got to see my awful attempt at a anglerfish in the beginning and how awful that looked. And then now we've got this pretty little orange fish worked out. But yeah, they've got the rest of the guild has about 2 weeks to finish their builds, And then the final week of the month, we'll put it up for a vote, and then the guildmates can all vote, even those that didn't build anything. We'll get a chance to say, well, I like this one good, and this one's awesome, and that one, I don't know what that is, and that kind of stuff. But it'll be interesting. And of course, every time we have one of these challenges, I always post screenshots in the forum, and I try to put together a little video, and I'll probably do a live stream where we go and visit each one in person, just to kind of yeah, it's just kind of, it's not really a goldfish, it's not really any specific fish, and you know, it's just kind of my makeup fish. It's a mystery fish, Mortimer the mystery fish. So now he's got the features, the fins and the eyes and the scales and stuff, but he's kind of his own thing. Too bad you can't like link it all together and have it consider one, and then I can gift it to my guildmates and say, here's a fish, and it's, you know, one I built, and you can have it. It'll be kind of fun. But yeah, he's definitely one of a kind. But so for those that haven't been watching along or haven't even come across my stream, they'll still get a chance to see it. I like to show it off in the custom built decor showcases thread on the forum. And hopefully, you know, it gives other people ideas of things that they can make if they want to make like a full plot of an aquarium of some sort. It's possible. That said, we are currently sitting at 426 decor, and that's just what you see here. That's all there is. Just what you see here. These little bit of plants and the fish. There's nothing else on the plot except for the house and the one plug that I got there. But the furniture, it's just this. So if someone wanted to go and make yeah, a carrot fish, I think you'd have to be orange to really qualify for being a carrot fish. But anyway, for someone that wants to make a full-fledged aquarium plot, they would have to take that into consideration as far as how detailed they want to get their fish. Because there's well over, I imagine, about 400 of that is probably just these scales, the plates. And that's a lot of decor count used up by one item. You know, it's not like I could make 15 or 20 of these different kinds of fish at this time, because the decor count just would not allow it. So for someone else, though, that wants to look into adding in, yeah, look at it. With the way my graphic settings is, it looks like a skeleton fish from over here. Creepy fish. As his scales disappear. Anyway, for someone that wants to make a full plot aquarium, which I have seen a few, it's kind of like they try to treat it like an ocean bottom or something. You probably would opt for a different way of making your fish, just for the sake of saving up decor pieces that you want to use for other features, or to be able to add as many features as you can. So this isn't really a practical design for a full plot kind of build. For something like this, just for, you know, just a little bit of a challenge to see if you can do it, this is great. And of course, it's on an alt plot, so it doesn't, you know, mess up my particular theme that's on my mains plot. So that's one good reason for alts. It's about the only thing I use them for. But yeah, that's something funny. Just due to the way I have my graphics settings, I have it where it like at a certain distance, some of the little bits disappear, I guess to make it easier for loading, and it just kind of makes the plates go bye-bye. You don't see the nice detail until you get up to it. Yeah, it looks kind of creepy from a distance. Okay, so I think we will call it finished, and the next thing that leaves me with Oh, a scuba guy. Well, I don't know if I could do a scuba guy. Um, it'd be kind of fun if we had those kind of costume pieces, you know, for like flippers and snorkel mask and things like that. That would be kind of cool. And we've got all kinds of other hats and helmets and things. You'd probably get away with maybe using some goggles of some sort. Um, I think the ones that's like the snowboard visors, most of them actually aren't on the eyes. They have them up on top of the head. But yeah, that would be kind of nifty. I don't think we have any like bubble making decor. The closest is like a blue flare, which this particular plot does not have access to at the moment because she doesn't have any of those pieces. But the only other bubbles I know of in decor is actually inside tanks and stuff, which would kind of, I think, not look good here. You could, if we had little dome glass pieces, you could put two of those together and make a little bubble. That would probably work, but of course we don't have that, so I don't know what else would work. We don't have any like glass bowls or anything like that. We have glasses and like chalices and stuff, but they're all funny shaped and odd colors that probably wouldn't lend itself very well. Maybe, let's see. Let me see if I can make something here. I don't know if this will work because of the stem of it. It's a big, long, goofy stem. But at least from one angle, it would probably look okay. You could use these as bubbles. Again, it would be from only a certain angle that it would work. Like if you wanted to take a screenshot and have some bubbles coming out, then you could do it like this. But again, it would only work from the one angle because you don't want to see the little nozzle of it. Whoops, what did I do with it? And try that again. I think I did something to the coordinates a little weird. Probably typed in something wrong. Anyway, I like trying to get it lined up good. It may look totally retarded, but I'm gonna try it. Okay, where's that other one? I don't want to lose it here. We're gonna make that a lot bigger. And bump it up. See, like if you were over on this side, kind of right around here, it kind of looks like bubbles. Something like that. But again, if you look at it from the wrong angle, you clearly see that it's not. But from here, it kind of looks like it. Now it has bubbles. And yes, I agree. Housing is pretty crazy. Really, you're just kind of limited by your imagination. And, you know, decor limits is another limit, but you can learn to work around it. Hey, Skidoo. Thank you for dropping by. But, yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out what works for you and for the particular theme that you're going for. If I could figure out something else that would work as a bubble, I would probably use it, but just to kind of give an indication that he's got bubbles coming. But there we go. Again, you're going to take a screenshot of it. You want to make sure you got it just the right angle so it's not like, move this just a little bit. Got a nice full shot. Question to the free server trans. I can transfer. I'm not sure what you mean by. I think there's currently a free transfer to a different server. Like if you happen to be on one of the like PvP realm, I think you can go, but I don't know if there's restrictions as far as regards to going from PvP to PvE. I've never done the transfer myself, so I really couldn't say. My best recommendation is to post about your issue if you're having trouble transferring a character from one realm to another, to post it in the forums under the probably under the player-to-player support. Now, while it kind of indicates that it would just be other players giving you hints, but some of like the moderators and even some of the devs will address it if it's something they can address. Or you could submit an in-game ticket and contact support